Hey adventurers, so today is going to be the Build Your Own Warband tag. This is a tag that was created by the Brothers Gwyn a couple months ago now, and I don't think I've been tagged by anybody to do this one, but it's one that's so fun that I just want to do it. So, or I guess nominated. I guess you're not tagged for this one, you're nominated to do this one. Whatever the case, I have my list of warband here, and we will see how it goes. A couple things before I get going though. As with the Brothers Gwyn and most of the other people, I'm not doing I'm not repeating series, I'm not repeating characters in a series. So I'm not using more than one character from a series, that's what I'm trying to say. Also with that, when Liam from Liam's Lyceum did his, he added a couple other places to his warband. I don't remember exactly what they were. I want to say they're Spearman, a healer, and a bard. If that's not exactly what they were, you'll have to go watch his video to find out. Whatever the case, those are the three that I've added to my own warband to kind of fill it out a little bit further. Probably unnecessary. In fact, it is unnecessary because the tag's great without them, but I wanted to use them. So we'll get into this and we should have fun. So starting off with the first one, the leader. Who is going to lead your warband? I was thinking about this and trying to come up with, well, who's a good leader that is also very powerful? And eventually it came back to Aragorn. I really tried hard not to use Aragorn or use my Lord of the Rings slot up right away, and so I was trying to think of some better leader who I could use, but I just couldn't come up with a better leader. And I understand Aragorn questions himself and questions his leadership time and time again, and he constantly thinks he makes the wrong decision over and over again. Up until the end of Return of the King at the Battle of the Black Gate, where he takes control and says, you guys go here, you guys do this, we're going to stand and we're going to fight and we're going to do as best as we can. He starts making this battle plan instantly as soon as he needs to, and that's the type of leader that I want. Champion. So I thought long and hard about a champion. This was another one that I had a very hard time choosing. Eventually I decided on Sir Lancelot du Lac. So Sir Lancelot, I really don't need to say a whole lot more about him. He's one of those characters that's just so powerful, so strong. The best knight of Camelot, the strongest knight of Camelot, all these things. I understand sometimes he's rude, not a nice guy, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't change the fact that if you need a champion, you want the best fighter you can possibly get, and that's Sir Lancelot. Then Councilor, as I believe it was Philip Chase pointed out, the Councilor, this is spelled C-O-U-N-C-I-L-O-R, instead of C-O-N-S-E-L-L-E-R or something like that, or L-L-O-R, whatever that word is. Brain's not spelling great today. Whatever the case, this is a Councilor, not a Councilor. And the Councilor is a member of a group that makes decisions. So this is somebody who makes the decisions for you. This isn't one who gives you information, gives you knowledge, helps you to make a better decision. This is the one who makes the decisions for you. And for that, I went with General Osric from Dawn of Wonder by Jonathan Renshaw. He's a very, very smart, very big man, very wise general, and a great leader. So he's who I chose for my Councilor. Then we've got Magician. For Magician, I went with the Traveler from Talendor's Guest, and it's kind of a out there pick because he's not a main focus and you don't really get to see his power until the very end, and then you see how strong of a character he really is. And yeah, I think I want this guy. I mean, obviously Gandalf would be a great choice, but I already have Aragorn as my leader, so I don't want to reuse another Lord of the Rings character. So I went with the Traveler, and I think it's a solid choice for... Then I went with Swordsman, and I thought for a while about who would be a good swordsman to have in my group, and I guess I shouldn't say I thought for a while. My first thought was Vasher from Warbreaker, and I kept trying to think, is there a better person for a swordsman that I would want? And I couldn't come up with somebody who I would rather have as a swordsman, not because there's not more skilled swordsmen, but because of the power of Vasher and his sword. That is why this character is my swordsman. I think for those of you who have read Warbreaker, you understand why. Then Axman. So I haven't read a lot of these other series that people are pulling their Axman from other than Lord of the Rings. A lot of people are using Gimli because he's such a renowned Axman. Again, I already used Lord of the Rings. I can't really reuse Lord of the Rings again. So I went with one of the greatest Axmen that I know of in the book that I've read, and that is the Green Knight from Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I could have also used Gawain here. He would have been a great choice for this place, but I decided to use the Green Knight because Gawain is human and can die. Green Knight just put his head back on when he got it cut off. So I'm gonna go with the Green Knight over Gawain. And yeah, we don't really see him fighting, but if I reach out of just the stories for Gawain and the Green Knight and look into other tales that this character might appear in, namely Gawain, and then also, or Gawain by J.P. Harker, I guess I should say, and then Gurzil, or the sequel, Baden Hill, I think I'll go with the Green Knight. He seems like a pretty good choice to me. Archer. This is kind of probably a pick that most people would be like, no, we don't want, that's not a good pick. But let me explain my reasoning here. So, I chose Rand al'Thor. I'm only into book 4 at this point in time when filming this. Who knows what will be when it finally gets released. But at the time of filming this, I'm only on book 4. And in the first book specifically, Rand is one of the best archers in the world, I guess. And at least in, what's the city? The Two Rivers. Where he comes from, he's Emmons Field, I guess is his town. But he's one of the best archers around, only able to be beat by his father. So I went with Rand because he's a great archer, but there's also a little bit more to him than just that he's an archer, and I think that a little bit more to him would be more beneficial than just him being an archer, and so I kind of stole him because yes, he can shoot a bow, but it's the other stuff about him that I want more. And then animal companion. So everybody is like, oh well, I've got to use these characters that are specifically animal companions. I'm gonna I'm gonna swap that up a little bit. I'm gonna switch that up a little bit. That's the phrase. And I'm going to go with a character who is an animal, but not necessarily an animal companion. And that is Soren from the Guardians of the Ga'Hoole series by Catherine Lasky. So, Soren is an owl, but he's also the best owl fighter at Ga'Hoole. It takes him a little bit to get there, but he becomes that character. And I want him, first off, I love owls. Owls are my favorite bird, but I also want Soren because Soren is awesome, and I think he would be a great animal to have as a companion. I tried to think of if there was a good one from Redwall, and there's not really. I mean, there's a lot of great warriors from Redwall, and within the world of Redwall, I would love to have them. But within the greater world of this is a fantasy warband, I would rather have some other characters, or I'd rather have someone like a bird that can fly and get out of the way really easily, but can also do damage a lot more than a lot of the animals in Redwall can. That's not me throwing shade at Redwall, that's me thinking tactically, I guess. I'll put it that way. Wildcard. So my wildcard is kind of going to be another one that's a little bit out there. From what I understand, a wildcard can just be whoever you want for whatever you want. And because this is supposed to be a book, I did make sure that this character is in books, and I know that he is. And that is Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One himself. He's also got a lightsaber, he's got the Force. I think he'd be a pretty good character to include in my warband. So that's my wild card. He's a little bit of a wild card because of his, what he decides to become in Revenge of the Sith. So there's a little bit of wild card there, but also he's just so powerful that I can't not have him. And I'm thinking about this now, and I've got how many Chosen Ones? I've got a couple of them. Anyways, then we get into these other characters, just extra characters. I wanted to add a priest, but I couldn't come up with a good priest when writing this video, and so I decided not to have a priest in this one, or a holy man, someone who acts as that character to lead, to pray, to do all these things for people. And so I decided not to include one because I couldn't think of a good one. But I do have a Spearman, and you'll notice so far that Stormlight Archive is missing from this list until now, and my Spearman is Kaladin Stormblessed. I had to save Kaladin for this because I couldn't think of another Spearman. I mean, there's other characters. Lancelot's guaranteed to be able to use a spear, but I like Kaladin better as a Spearman. The next one is Healer, and I realized that there's not that many healers that I like or that I would want on my team. And then I thought about, well, what's another series that I haven't taken a character from, and I thought about Harry Potter. And so Madame Pomfrey would be my healer. She does a lot of work at Hogwarts. Yeah, so I think I'd go with Madame Pomfrey. And then the last one is a bard. My initial choice was Lily from the Wingfeather Saga, and which is a great choice, but I decided that there's a character who would be slightly better fitting because they're literally known as the Bard, and that is Armelin the Bard. I quite liked Armelin the Bard. He was a very interesting character. Didn't play as much of a role as I think I would have liked, but he's still a Bard. I'll take him. and it's a series. I wanted to make sure I was representing on this list, and I wanted to have a good bard. I don't really have anything else to say. Anyways, so that is my Build Your Own Warband tag. I'm not gonna nominate anybody to do this one, but it was very, very fun to do, and if you haven't done it yet, absolutely do it. It's so much fun. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we will see you guys later. Let me know what you guys think of my warband. Thank you guys for watching Untitled Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. We have our social medias linked in the description down below. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.